listening to AchieveRadio.com, the positive side of broadcasting.
Joining me today, I have a wonderful guest. She is a very special Hawaiian spirituality sister, and she has been on the show other times before. She has a voice that is very, very soothing. She is a grand master Reiki healer. She is also in a wide assortment of other certifications, but I'll let her tell you about that. She's going to do some great meditations. We invite you to call into the show today for a live reading, 2 live readings. Lanakila will give you the ancient Hawaiian Reiki wisdom of her consciousness, and I will give you Master Tarot guidance and angel messages. It's all one and the same. So thank you so much for joining, and Lanakila, how are you? Whoop! No sound from Lana. Toot, 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 toot. Trying to hear Lana. No sound. Um, Lana, I know that you tested with Bill. Bill, is it me or is it Lana? Does she need to be given sound? 1 minute. Um, that's Lana there. And Lana is, um, as you can see, she is somebody that is definitely ready to go. Bill, if you could let me know if you're hearing her and I'm not. Otherwise, please can you look at Lana's sound so I can hear her. Okay, I hear you now. I hear you now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I,
Hello.
I don't know what
Hello,
that was
everybody.
about. Hello. How are you today? And how was your
Great, Annie.
ankle? How was your ankle?
Oh, no, I'm fine. I'm fine, you know.
Okay. Yeah, I know about those kind of injuries. Um, you tell me your theory about you were doing posting once about your theory about uh, dimensional ascension and things. What was it you were saying about that?
I
Symptoms
believe
be
that, because consciousness is energy, and energy is in everything. Um, that ties into your focus today, Annie, on the quantum aspect of ascension. And I believe that when you increase your vibration, when you go with a good feeling and you feel that in your heart, you are like creating this bioelectric wave and a bioelectric magnetic wave, and you're elevating not only your energy with more positive thoughts and feelings, but you're elevating your whole auric, your Olympic egg. And that puts you in sync with everything around you, actually. I don't know if
so
I answered your question,
you
did I?
well Yes, but you were also saying that in one of the posts I was looking at, you said something about certain uh, symptoms one may be feeling or going through when they are finding that they are having a spiritual awakening. Could you go through that again?
Oh my goodness, there's so many of them, Annie. But a
And
feeling of detachment from things that seem to be used to be of importance, like maybe a minute ago, or even a day ago, a week ago. So there's a feelings of detachment, I think, and feelings of being disoriented, that you're not quite grounded, you're floating, things like that. Is that what you're talking about, Annie? Yeah.
yeah, and sleeplessness, you were saying sometimes can be one of them.
Loss
We
of
can't always, of
appetite.
course, we can't always say that sleeplessness in itself is just about spiritual awakening. It can also be about being a dumb shit sometimes when you're not, uh, you know, going to bed at the normal times that an enlightened soul should be. Um, not,
But
but
when is that now? Because I don't know about you, Annie, but my sleep patterns have been all over the place
uh,
since, my goodness, for a while
for
now.
me, for me, no, because I have an animal rescue. And at a certain specific time every morning, they bounce and they bounce and they bounce on me and make strange sounds, and I know it's time to get up. But yeah, I am forced. I'm kind of like a spiritual dairy farmer without the cows. I just find myself trudging up and feeding the critters, and but I find a spiritual um, meaning meaningness in that. I find meaning in saving and rescuing, and it's not just in giving readings but also animals. So
Well, the animals are really important. They're also a great indicator of shifts in energy around you. So if you're tuned in with your three eyes, um, you can catch their message. And I think that's part of the awakening process, and part of the ascension symptoms is also becoming more than empathic. I think everybody is empathic, that is able to feel energy around them. I think what takes it beyond, and what causes you to think, something is different, is that you go beyond, you become in sync with the energies around you, and that makes you more compassionate. Um, that makes you more
yeah,
mindful.
because I don't remember feeling this need to save and rescue when I was growing up. I mean,
Right.
I was probably more the one that needed being saved than I was um, from living on the
No.
streets to, living in situations that were probably not the most healthy. But as I got older and wiser, and life was more giving, uh, it almost seemed as if I reached a point where, in the back of my mind, I manifested and said, now, at some point, I know that I'm going to find happiness. At some point, I know that there's going to be like a veil that slowly comes open. And sure enough, it did. And everything fell in place at once. But for the longest time, it was very difficult. I think also that goes sometimes with hormones and with and growing older, perhaps. I loved being young and loved being that vibrant, sexual being. But I also think that
Yeah.
there began to be such a wisdom and a calm that set into me like a beautiful pink sunset every time that I got 1 year older. And then finally, somewhere around that, I said, there's a lot of Annies out there that need rescuing. There's a lot of people that and animals and things that need someone to hold their hand. And I think that that was my awakening. But so you have a chant today or um, what was it that you were going to start our show with before? I felt we needed to try to be flexible because it seems like you and I, the more we become disciplined with an actual strategy, that's when electricity bonks us out. So I thought maybe we could, you know, you go for it and you
Change it
do
up.
the chant. Yes. So,
Okay, so usually when we start a mo'olelo session, a study session, um, we always begin with a chant. Um, and this chant is called Ehomai. It's a chant that was taught to me when I was just a kid. I think every young person in Hawaii who goes to school there is taught Hawaiian spirituality side by side with your reading, writing, and arithmetic. And one of the first things you learn is how to greet the day, how to greet the sun. And it goes something like this. E hunai kai kinai luna mai. Una mea huna no eo. Una le e homai. E homai. E homai kai kinai luna mai. Una mea huna no eo. Una mele e homai e homai kai ke mai luna mai Una mea una no eo Una mele e homai Ehumai, Ehumai. So that
cool.
chant.
Very cool.
Hey,
And nice to hear you sing. That is very nice.
well, that's my chanting voice. And what I was
I love it.
chanting was an affirmation um, to return me, to everything that makes me who I am. Um, Return me to the wisdoms of the ages, to everything I knew, to what is above and hidden below, what seems insignificant, to my joys, to my songs, to the turnings of time, and to everything that is my birthright, my strength. And that's what I'm saying. Return me, return me, return me.
Awesome.
So I think that's a great way to start your day.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. I start mine with a cup of coffee and yelling at a cat a lot of times, but that's okay.
Well, I think the cup of coffee is good. I'm yelling at the rabbit, so you know.
Oh, I'm trying to heal rabbits from the cats, but maybe I need to start chanting over the wounded rabbits.
Well,
Um,
no, she's just being grumpy because
oh,
she goes outside now. It's spring, and I just don't get up fast enough to get her outside.
I've heard my son has a rabbit, and I always thought of them as gentle creatures until I hear them grunt and they kick and they sometimes can be very grumpy and mean-spirited and sometimes to each other. And I don't think that rabbits should be that way because I grew up on Peter Rabbit and all those things, but
It's
um
funny. It's very funny. I'm entertained and I am learning every day, Annie, about rabbits. They're
wow,
so cute.
that's
They're
cool.
so cute. Yeah, and she does she does remind me, I mean, to be in the moment because animals, they're not like us. They stay in the moment. We tend to ruminate on the future. We call that worrying or fearing, or we're thinking about the past, which is already done and done and gone, and but we're still smarting from the experience, So animals are cool. They just live in the moment, and they don't get it if 10 minutes later we get upset with something they did. You know, there's a disconnect in linear time, and they're thinking, "No, I've done all right. I'm a good pet." But
Yeah, well,
and you get
I
mad
always
at them, and you're like, "Sorry."
I know. I wanted to say hello to Joseph from Tennessee. I wanted to say hello to Jan from LA. I wanted to say hello to Rita from Texas. And I wanted to also say hello um, to anyone else that may be listening, knowing that you can call in if you want and just say hi, or just maybe you'd like to just have some long distance healing from Lana, or you just want some wisdom and a tarot reading. Lana will do the wisdom, I'll do the reading. I'll make sure it's short so Lana gets the stage here today. But again, the number to call in is 602 666 6027. And this week, I'm trying to make sure that I pay attention to the um, video because we do have a chat on the side of the video. And last week, I kind of accidentally turned it off when there were people there. So I'm sorry about that.
Well, I
Lana,
wanted to
do
let
you
everybody
feel
know.
um, when you think about uh, the shaman way, when you think of quantum, describe each of those dynamics to me, those spiritual dynamics, will you please?
Well, it is trying to get back to that singular moment where we were all created all at once. Um, but to get back to that, you have to get back to that within yourself. The quantum thing is to realize that there is no time, just the now. So we live in the now. We live in one breath, one heartbeat, one moment. And if we remember that, everything that we do is connected. Everything we think of is connected. Everything we think, like we feel, has karmic consequences. You know, that is living quantumly, in my humble opinion, to be cognizant and aware that everything you do really, it serves the highest good when you search it out for yourself, when you try to figure it out, where you fit in all of it. And when you get there, it's like, it's not like way up there, it's just a light goes on. You feel this elevated elevation in good feel. That's the best I could explain it. And then everything just it doesn't bother you anymore. You really are feeling better. That to me is the quantum thing.
So there are so many different aspects to quantum. I mean, I always like there isn't it like almost even another dimension to quantum, isn't it like something to do like when you throw a stone into the water and different ripples happen, that there may be
Yes.
different ripples of parallel existence happening at the same time. um,
Yes, and
and
it's
and
all based on choice. And
and
yes,
it's all
I
based on
believe,
choice.
okay, you want to get kind of weird and out
Yeah, I
there.
do want to get kind of.
Okay, so think of yourself as a dot
Wow.
that has a 360 omniscience presence. And so every thought, every breath causes you to expand and move in all directions. And the difference between you being a higher dimensional being that has no form that we know of, that we're aware of in this third dimension, you know, um, the way you move becomes a way you interact, connect, communicate with another, because we're all really huge balls of light. And so it's really easy to intersect with somebody else, with another sentient being's orb of light. So we're all connected somehow. We're all connected somehow. So when you are a dot and you're only like this, but you want to expand, every time you expand, you're expanding to a higher frequency, which is a correlation in dimension. Now, dimensional consciousness is different than density dimension. Okay, so that's why when people say there is no time in the fifth dimension, it's because the fourth dimension is time. You know,
Oh,
it
the
makes
fourth.
it
So the third dimension, can you describe that? The third dimension is the life
is
of,
this, is
is
this.
this.
It's the Z axis. It's the XY, and then the Z, which is the ray that goes into your proverbial cube. That's what makes a space, because you have three axes. Now, the fourth in density is that in-between space that creates the cube, okay? But it's not the same as consciousness, because in consciousness, the 4D, fourth dimension and higher, is technically the astral realm where there is no time. So everything is now. So you can fix, literally, a mistake in the 3D in the higher, which is what magicians do.
Oh,
You really, yeah.
so
So,
so okay. Well, I the difference between magicians and wizards, perhaps. Magicians to me are often illusionists. So you're saying
oh,
that
well, I'm talking about ceremonial magicians, not
oh,
stage
ceremonial
show.
magician. Oh,
Yeah,
you're
not
talking about magicians, not musicians.
right.
Musicians to me are a magic in themselves too.
Right,
Creating
because
creating sound waves, creating emotions, creating uh, all of the um, all that's magic to me.
it
At
is
least
magic.
that it can transform an entire crowd. It can transform an entire uh, room full of stress or create liveliness in a deadpan crowd. You know, how many times have I gone to political uh, what here in Iowa, we always have the politicians coming around, and I can remember the first time that I see people. It's just a crowd, and then the music comes on, and then you just want to say, "All right," and here they are, But the thing is, music changes everything. Um, so then the fifth dimension. Describe the fifth dimension. Is that
Well,
quantum? Is that?
well, I could best describe that if I was using the tree of life and speaking in Kabbalistic terms. So you would think that the fourth dimension would be Yesod, and the fifth dimension, the astral realm, actually technically is yet right here in your sacral chakra. On the tree of life, that would be the ninth Sephirot, and that would be the astral and above. And that would be fourth dimension. Fifth dimension would be the level of Hod and Netzach, which is like right at your hip bones. If you were gonna inlay or overlay a tree of life on your human body, so to overlay a bunch of correspondences, that's where it would be on the tree of life. And in your mind, that would be you regulating your emotions with the way you do things on the daily. So when
Okay.
you create that balance, then you then you are merging your root chakra with your sacral chakra, as above, so below. And that really is the great work, to put that together as one chakra.
And
And
when
that
you are
means,
healing, so when you are healing, do you find that you merge those different dimensions at all?
yes, because I feel that when you go deeper, when you're doing your inner work, when you're meditating, you are transmuting yourself. You are going into more touchy-feely, etheric dimensions of yourself. So you are traveling from this skin bag, I can touch everything, three-dimensional life, into something higher. But it's all inner work. And that's what messes people up, because they're messing it up between the density consideration versus the consciousness spiritual consideration. So the Hawaiian way is to stay in the moment, always. I mean, that's where you
Lana,
find your most authentic self. Yes?
we have a caller from
Oh,
California. Her name is Diane. Hey, Diane, do you have a question for Lana?
I do. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
yeah.
Okay,
Aloha.
perfect. I thought I had muted you. Sorry. Um,
No.
no, this is my first time on. I actually follow Achieve Radio for some other people that post YouTube, and I saw you guys pop up on um, my notification, so I just thought I'd click in, and I've just really been
Hey,
enjoying
thanks for
your
joining
your
us,
talk.
Diane. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I love your spirit. I just wanted to see if I could get some wisdom from Lana and a reading from you.
Sounds good. Lana, do you feel anything from Diane that would be of assistance?
Hmm. Well, obviously, Diane, I'm connected to you right now just through our voices, so I'm already sending you a lot of Reiki energy. I don't know if you can feel me or not, but I am sending to you now. I'll repeat my message just for today. Do not anger, do not worry. Be grateful and do your work with appreciation, for this is spiritual awakening. Be kind to all living things in the morning and at night, with hands held in prayer. Think this with your mind, chant this with your mouth, and keep good intentions in your heart.
Diane, I would add to that. I'm just doing a reading for you that says at this particular time, you have a very star child quality about you. That star child quality about you is something that oftentimes makes you lonely. And I'm not sure why that is, but it says that you have infinite abilities, gifts, and talents, but you also are somebody that in your radiance can sometimes find that the frequency that you're in does not always bond well or make you feel as if you have a lot of people close to you. Your reading says in the past that used to bother you, but it doesn't bother you as much now. Lana, can you add to that?
Well,
Oh, what is that? I can't see it. I'm too blind.
strength.
Okay. Strength. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's
Strength.
very powerful. She's an empowered woman.
She is an empowered woman. And 8 is a great number. I think that's one of my favorite numbers because it is all
Infinity.
about as above, so below, and when you put it on its side, infinity. Yeah.
Mhm.
So balance, but also too, yeah. Um, this card for me is dictated by Leo the Lion. So find your voice. I know you've got it, and wow, you're a leader. You're a leader, and a woman to be respected. Yeah.
How do you
Thank
feel
you.
about those things, Diane? How do you feel
No,
about what came through on
they're
you?
they're all right on. Yeah. It's just so funny. I don't get readings very often on purpose, anymore. And I just felt prompted to call in with you guys. I just really love that Hawaiian spirit and all of that beautiful energy of the Ho'oponopono that you clearly are bringing through. And so, yes, yeah, the strength, and really I do find myself, um, I go back and forth between being lonely and alone, because there is a difference, and I'm learning to embrace it because, all my life I've been around a lot of family. I had 5 kids, and so we were always a very busy household, and I'm divorced now for more than 10 years, and it was a really one of the best things I probably did. But I love my kids. I homeschooled them, and so having all of that interaction for most of my life was the norm, and to now, be alone um, is something is a challenge for me to have to embrace and to learn to appreciate it. And so, I'm getting to the place where I don't need to have, maybe a partner in my life. And then I go back and forth. Well, I think I would like one. Oh, no, I like, staying until 1 a.m. and eating, snacks if I feel like watching a series on anything. Not that I couldn't do that, but that's my experience, that when you have a partner, you honor them by working together. And so I just kind of go back and forth. And so, yeah, I go back and forth between what you mentioned about, being I don't know if you said lonely or just alone, but
Well, it just says also
being,
that as you are going each day, you're seeming to go through a transformation of a higher frequency, and
yeah,
that you're going to notice that at times you're not the same Diane you used to be,
not
and
at
that
all.
at times that may make you feel alone because you're wondering, what is this all about? But what you're reading is saying is that you're exactly where you should be at this time in your life, and that you shouldn't worry about it. But I think that it says you're a natural star child, a natural star. So I think that everything that's happening to you, there's something on the end of the path for you, not the end, perhaps the path of 2021, that I think is leading to a great transformation of enlightenment for you. And I think that it's not only empowering you, but you may find that some of the people you used to know don't know you anymore,
Hmm.
which is kind
Yes,
of a
that's.
strange. hmm Lana knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Oh no,
and it goes.
I do because the last. I'm sorry, but just the last 10 years has actually been that.
Yeah, but
hmm
it goes hand in hand with the strength card that I pulled. You have more strength than you realize, than you give yourself credit for, and
Oh.
you should celebrate that. You really should. I, you know, I know how you feel. I've recently gone through something um, that intense, and learning to be, learning to love yourself, I think is really, and appreciating who you are is really where the journey is. And it's
Hmm.
easier, I'm finding, not having someone next to me, because now I'm naked, I'm all alone. I have to figure it out. I can't blame any shortcomings on anyone but me. So that makes me honest to to a fault, and and have integrity for once.
Do you
I
do you
mean,
know I have a funny thing to add to this. Every once in a while, I'll get a guru or a Reiki master or a spiritual transforming person, and they all say the same thing. It is so hard for me to be in a relationship when I'm changing and evolving, or when I am finding myself on a journey that someone else thought that they understood and knew, but eventually, like any relationship, and I'm speaking of my own, it's like the things that you thought you understood and were attracted to can suddenly, for someone else who thought she's so unique, she's so interesting, she is just the most compassionate, wonderful, until they find out that you can't walk through Walmart without people wanting to give you all of their problems, and or going out and seeing that I just want to see the beauty. Please don't say anything negative. No, I don't want to hear that it's a bad day. I don't want to hear about the neighbors that aren't good. I just want to see positive, beautiful things. And it's like after a while, lots of times spiritual partners go, oh, come on, get negative with me. Come on, let, just, let's just be, and it's
let's
like,
be ugly for
no,
once.
if let's be ugly together, and it's like, I'm sorry, that's not my journey. And
Right.
it is hard for a lot of people. So anyway, Diane, thank you for letting us do this run on. But do you have any last words, Diane?
Yeah, yes, just thank you very much, and you both be blessed in all of your pursuits, and It is an exciting
Thank
year,
you.
I think, for everybody, not just you
I
personally, but
feel
the
it.
collective. Yeah.
I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
I mean,
it.
we're going through a little bit, of some, what would be a good word, just some challenging times right now and
Yeah.
situations. But once we get over that hump, I think it's going to be pretty magnificent.
Well, I don't know
So
about you,
thank
but
you.
it's never been the mellow times that have changed me for the better. It has
Never,
often been
never.
the times, the crisis. It has been the moment that I lost something that I had to find my strength. And when you lose something and you find yourself having to adapt, these are the times of strength and involvement in no matter what that situation is. You can either decide to sit down and wallow in self-pity, or you can rise like a phoenix and just try to make yourself the best you can be. And I feel you are rising like a phoenix, Diane.
Well, thank you. Thank you, ladies. Both of you. I'm
All right.
beyond words. I usually am not because I'm a Virgo and I usually can communicate very well. But I just have a
I'm
lot of gratitude for both of you giving me your time. I really appreciate that.
Take care, Diane.
So
Bye-bye.
thank
Be well.
you.
You All right. We have so many people here, and I don't want to take away. Do you have something that you would like to say before we take another person?
What to say?
I think we're
Well,
saying it as we're doing it. You know,
yeah.
I mean, I think we're still sharing wisdom.
I just want everyone to, gosh, give time for yourself. You know, just don't bury, just don't bury the responsibility to look inward at least once a day and see how your actions, your words have affected everything around you. And if you just did that at the end of the day, once a day, I think that you'll find that you will eventually become the compassion and the mindfulness that you want to see for yourself, that you read about. I really do think that. I mean, I think a lot of us procrastinate, and it's funny to say it that way in the context of awakening yourself, but there it is. I think that's
Procrastinating on,
being better. Let's face it, we like to be bad. We like getting into
I know,
trouble. We like mischief. I know I do.
yes. I know, yeah. But the trouble comes when you start to walk a double path and
Right,
one starts to get back on the other. When you start to feel that the the ability to try to rise above what you're condemning, but then you find yourself being exactly what you're condemning,
right.
then you're nothing but a, what do you call it?
Hypocrite?
You're just hypocrite, right? Yeah, yeah,
So
you're being a
so the
hypocrite.
so the
Yeah,
Hawaiian way would be to accept that you have that fault. And then, you're giving it light when you accept it. You're giving it breath. You're giving it air. So once you accept it, then you release it like the baggage it is to be released from the stress, the fear of being inadequate, the fear of being a success, or just
right.
worrying to worry. When you release to release, you get back to that lokahi, that unity within yourself. The balance, okay? Talk English, the balance.
The balance.
And so everything feels like your shoulders relax. You could exhale. Everybody inhales, but they keep it like this. But if you can exhale, because you've released to be released, there you go. You're back in peace and aloha. So easy, but
I
it's so
know.
easy to say.
Easy.
I know,
Easy as
right?
long. Yeah. I'm gonna we're gonna do 3 flash readings, Hail Mary readings. Okay. I hate to say Hail Mary because I know you are the the
Hey, I deserve. I'm in service to Divine Mother. Mary's fine.
yes, yes. Okay. So
Okay.
for Joseph, we're just going to do small, brief readings. We only have 11 minutes left of the show.
Okay.
So we have Joseph would like to know, can I please just have a general organic message? What is it?
The
Oh,
Magician card,
the
which
magician.
is,
And how would you
yeah,
interpret that? How would
be,
you interpret that?
be everything that you can be by saying yes to yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
I would
Don't be
say,
afraid.
I would say, honor the feminine within you.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
I would say that so many times men get lost in not wanting to show um, their beautiful, gentle qualities. And Joseph, I would say that this can mean a couple things. It can mean, I think of this old Soupy Sales song when I was growing up. Be kind to your parents. You know they deserve it.
Oh,
I'm
Annie,
just
you
saying,
just
if there,
dated us.
I know. So all I'm saying is, if there is a special person in your life, a special mom, a special sister, somebody that you have found that you're losing track of, or maybe it's a wife, you need to give this person some compassion and kindness, and that's what I have. So we're looking at Jan. Janice says, "May I have a general reading? Just general reading message." And Jan is from Iowa. And what does you have? Phoenix, or
I
what is that?
do. The High Priestess.
High Priestess. Oh yeah, Jan is probably the High Priestess for sure. And how would you
So
describe that to Jan?
I would say follow your intuition. Follow your intuition. Follow your heart. Allow that to guide your spirituality, your awakening, so that you can travel that abyss and gain the knowledge that you seek.
And Jan, what I have, um, quit fighting change. It's the death card, but it's in
Mm.
reverse. To me, death is when you let go of an old way of life and you bring on new creative change. But sometimes we block our own progress by saying we want progress, but then our actions don't follow our words and intentions, because we, like any animal that I love, get caught up into time frames and schedules, and sometimes our guides and angels are kicking and kicking our butts, but we just don't want to listen. So follow your intuition, correct, and make sure that you know that you may be blocking change in your life, and stop it. Okay, we have Rita from Texas, and
Wow,
Rita
these
says
are going
hello.
pretty good.
Yeah. Rita says, "Can I please have um, an organic as possible financial reading. And so I think that just basically how you may see financial falling into all that. What is that? I'm going to hold the card. Ooh, pretty. What is that? I can't see it. The words.
Temperance. That's,
Temperance.
uh,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh
there
my
it goes.
goodness, no more internet shopping.
Right, right. If you're talking finances, I would say, yeah, no impulse buying. Yeah, curtail the internet shopping. Um, be conservative with your finances, um, so that you can realize whatever it is that you are saving up for. That's what I would say.
Set a goal, set your intention, and spend less money, knowing that
Spend
that
less money.
light is at the end of the tunnel for what you truly want. And I have a card of the King of Cups, and that would, to me,
Hmm.
I'm going to say that can mean a couple things, Rita. It could mean that if you are focusing your financial, remember, if there is a son or if there is a husband or if there is a parent around that you may be investing quite a bit on, do understand that you have to have boundaries. Do understand that that means it's okay to be uh, giving to those that truly need it. On the other hand, don't spend money on those that you feel it empowers you to spend money on them because it'll make you cooler or make you more powerful, when in fact it may just make you used. So, in other words, curtail, 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 but set your goal and know that your finances will go fine. All right? You'll do fine. All right, so that's what we have. I'm going to check the video one more time to make sure I'm not ignoring anybody. Oh, goodness. Diane, Isabella, hi. How is everyone? Hello, Isabella. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate. Do we have a reading message for Isabella?
Wow. Are you in a hurry to
Oh, she's in the messenger.
succeed?
Succeed, Isabella. You are going to be successful or succeed. What do you interpret that as?
Gee, I mean, she's going fast. Um, Cancer. Hmm. So this is a feeling. This is more like a feeling um,
Okay.
of success. Am I getting that? No, feeling. You're running towards something really fast.
Which would go
So,
with mine, which says balance. Mine is
okay.
temperance. So maybe what we're looking at is that she needs to understand, keep that positive attitude in order to succeed, stay harmonious, stay balanced, and oh boy, there's nothing going to stop you. Yeah. We did have one
Goosebumps.
Diane, and Diane, I don't know if Diane is there or not, but Diane, thank you so much. And um, I'm going to say, Lana, do you have any last words before our show ends?
I would say be the aloha you wish to see in everyone. Aloha is the exchange of the divine breath, but it's almost always synonymous in our community with intelligence. So be mindful, be compassionate, love everyone the way you want to love yourself. Love yourself. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
whole thing. You can't, happiness is a choice. So if you're good with yourself, then everybody else is good too. It starts
I
with
think
you.
and I think there was a heavy influence today about learning to understand that the people that love us, whether they are our mates or whether they are family, never forget that you have to be true to yourself and be who you are, and don't feel bad if they don't understand it, if they don't get you. That's okay. Eventually they will, and or they won't. But either way, be okay with that. It's
Yeah.
part of nothing strong. We don't become stronger by just the mellow times. We get stronger and we honor the beauty and the great times we have with people, but it's okay to let, if we're transforming, it's okay to let the people that don't understand us go. And that's okay. We
Yes,
we
and
we
let
can
them
let
go
that
with
happen.
aloha. Yeah,
Yeah.
with a lot of
Yeah.
love.
I like that. I like it very much. Well, I would say usually the show music comes doot 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 right now, but it's not today. So I guess I would just say thank you so much, Lana. And I had such a good time today. I actually didn't play one of your meditations, which we had, but thank you for giving me those meditations. I
Oh,
think I
yeah.
will be able to play them on and on and on when you're not here, so that they're still going to bless my life. In fact, we may just go out with a meditation. How's that? We'll
Perfect.
go with this. Oh, yellow light music. I guess that's it, Lana. Bye bye.
Howdy, Winchester here. Back in the 1870s, there weren't much book learning. Matter of fact, if you could read, you were considered right educated. And if you had any